Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Sri Caitanya Charitamrita ki Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarne Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. Welcome to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela chapter 1, the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So this is a synopsis of the pastimes of Mahaprabhu after taking sannyas, or the synopsis of the pastimes described in Madhya Leela and Antya Leela. So we are reading about the explanation of the verse that is recited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during Rath Yatra when he was in front of Jagannath. What is Mahaprabhu's feeling at that time? That is being analyzed by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So yesterday we read 182. Let's go back quickly. Yes. So this is what we read yesterday. The gopis thought, "Dear Lord, if your lotus feet again come to our home in Vrindavan, our desires will be fulfilled." So let me just quickly go back. Yeah. So I shall describe. So now I'm going to give. Now, O devotees, please hear a brief explanation of this verse. This is the verse that Srimati Radharani is saying to her friends, and this is actually, so Srila Rupa Goswami is showing that the verse that is recited by Mahaprabhu is actually same as this verse, which is spoken by Srimati Radharani to her friends. So this is that verse where this is spoken on the field of Kurukshetra by Srimati Radharani to Lord Krishna. So, and Mahaprabhu is reciting a verse which is similar to this verse. Similar means the same verse, just names are not said. So what exactly is Mahaprabhu's feeling when he is seeing Jagannath? Remember, these are the later pastimes, the last 12 years of Mahaprabhu's stay in Jagannath Puri. What is Mahaprabhu's feeling at that time, his bhava. So, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, now, O devotees, please hear a brief explanation of this verse. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was thinking in this way after having seen the Jagannath deity. The subject of his thoughts was Srimati Radharani, who met Krishna on the field of Kurukshetra. Although she met Krishna there, she was nonetheless thinking of him in the following way. She thought of him in the calm and quiet atmosphere of Vrindavan, dressed as a cowherd boy. But at Kurukshetra, he was in a royal dress and was accompanied by elephants, horses, and crowds of men. Thus, the atmosphere was not congenial for their meeting. Thus, meeting with Krishna and thinking of the Vrindavan atmosphere, Radharani longed for Krishna to take her to Vrindavan again to fulfill her desire in that calm atmosphere. So, to substantiate this, so you got the point? What is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood when he is saying this verse, singing this verse? What was his mood? His mood is that of Srimati Radharani's mood when she saw Krishna as a royal prince on the field of Kurukshetra. And she is longing to see Krishna once again in Vrindavan as a cowherd boy in the calm village setting, forest of Vrindavan. In that calm atmosphere, she wanted to see Krishna away from all these crowds and this royalty. That's her desire. So it's as if she's pleading with Krishna to please once again come back to Vrindavan. And if he did that, that would be the fulfillment of all her desires. So to substantiate this, that this is how Srimati Radharani is feeling, to substantiate this, now Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is quoting a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. The gopi spoke thus, Dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower, your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our hearts, although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs. Okay, so this is the verse from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the gopis are praying to Krishna. And they're saying that your lotus feet are the only shelter for anyone who's suffering in this material, anyone who's in this material existence. Material existence means suffering. So for anyone who is completely embarrassed in this material existence, there's only one shelter, that is your lotus feet. And who try to get these lotus feet? Great mystic yogis and jnanis, they are endeavoring for these lotus feet. And we are just simple cowherd ladies. We are not great jnanis, we are not great tapasvis, yogis, but we also have a desire that your lotus feet may be awakened in our hearts. So what does this mean? Why is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami quoting this verse? Let's see the next verse. Text 82. Tomar charana mora vrajapura ghare udaya koraye jadi tabe vanchapure. The gopis thought, Dear Lord, if your lotus feet again come to our home in Vrindavan, our desires will be fulfilled. This is what we discussed yesterday. This is the feeling of the gopis. Once again, if your lotus feet come to our heart, they awaken in our heart, means now on the field of Kurukshetra also they're feeling the same way. That is their mood. That verse was spoken after Ras Leela or before Ras Leela. They were praying to Krishna to awaken his lotus feet in their hearts. In the same mood, now in the field of Kurukshetra, they are praying to Krishna, please once again, if you come back to our homes in Vrindavan, that means come back to Vrindavan, then that will be the fulfillment of all our desires. That was their desire before also. That Krishna, may your lotus feet be awakened in our heart, means what? This is our desire. This is our desire. Now, once again, if you come back to Vrindavan, that will be the fulfillment of all our desires. Then Srila Prabhupada explained what is the nature of the gopis' desire. So, yesterday's class was all about the gopis' uh, position, their love for Krishna, and their unalloyed devotion. Anyabhilashita shunyam. They don't have any desire for personal sense gratification. So their desire is also for Krishna's pleasure. They don't desire for anything else, not for their pleasure. Even their desiring Krishna to come to Vrindavan is for Krishna's pleasure, not for their pleasure. Like that. Now let's continue reading the next verse. भागवतेर श्लोक गूढ़ार्थ विशद कोरिया रूप गोसाई श्लोक कोइलो लोक बुझाइया. In one verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has explained the confidential meaning of the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for the understanding of the general populace. So, this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, even the verse that Srimati Radharani spoke, like this verse where the one that is quoted, the gopis are praying. It looks like a general statement, isn't it? When you look at the verse, like your lotus feet are the shelter for anyone who is in this material world, right? Anyone suffering in this material world, the only shelter is your lotus feet. Great jnanis and yogis are seeking your lotus feet. And we are not jnanis, yogis, we are simple cowherd ladies. We also desire for your lotus feet. But what is filled in that verse? What is the bhava of the gopis by speaking that verse? That we cannot understand. The Acharya has access. How the Acharya has access to that? That's what we are reading in Bhagavad Gita. They have access to that because of their love for Krishna, because of their pure unalloyed devotional service. Krishna reveals to them. Same thing Swarup Damodar Goswami also said. Mahaprabhu said, how does Rupa Goswami know what is in my heart? I didn't tell this to anyone. And he just captured the whole confidential essence, the heart of the mood of Mahaprabhu. He captured it in one verse. He just gave the whole thing up. It's like he exposed Mahaprabhu's heart in one verse. Mahaprabhu was amazed, in ecstasy. How did he do that? And Swarup Damodar Goswami said, because you have shown your mercy to him. Unless you give your special mercy, how is it possible for anyone to understand? And Mahaprabhu also admitted, yes, I see Rupa Goswami as fit to preach the confidential meanings, the confidential, meanings of the mellow of devotional service. He is fit to preach this to everyone. So I have blessed him. I have showered him with my benedictions. That's how he understood. So this verse, which to us may appear like a general statement of Bhagavatam, what is there in that verse that is revealed to us by Srila Rupa Goswami? What exactly are the gopis saying? What is their mood? And also when Mahaprabhu just recited that verse, that is the inner meaning of that verse. Now it is revealed to the whole world by Srila Rupa Goswami. In one verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has explained the confidential meaning of the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for the understanding of the general populace. This is, I think, Brahma Samhita meter. याते लीला रस परिमलोद गारिवन्यापरीता धन्याक्षौणी विलसति वृता माथुरी माधुरीभिः तत्रास्माभिश्चटुलपशुभिः भावमुग्धान्तराभिः संवीतस्त्वं कलय वदनोल्लासि वेणुर्विहारम्. The gopis continued, Dear Krishna, the fragrance of the mellows of your pastimes is spread throughout the forests of the glorious land of Vrindavan. The fragrance of the mellows of your pastimes. Mellows means the rasa. Rasa, right? The taste. The fragrance of that rasa of your pastimes is spread throughout the forests of the glorious land of Vrindavan, which is surrounded by the sweetness of the district of Mathura. In the congenial atmosphere of that wonderful land, you may enjoy your pastimes with your flute dancing on your lips and surrounded by us, the gopis, whose hearts are always enchanted by unpredictable ecstatic emotions. This is a verse from the Lalita Madhava by Srila Rupa Goswami. It's like decoding. Srila Rupa Goswami is decoding the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam and showing us what is the bhava behind those verses. So what are the gopis saying now? They want Krishna, Srimati Radharani wants Krishna to come back to Vrindavan, and it's as if she's saying, Dear Krishna, the land of Vrindavan, in the land of Vrindavan, in the glorious land of Vrindavan, the fragrance of the rasa of your pastimes is spread throughout the forests. That means you can feel Krishna's the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes. You can, or that place is most favorable to perform such pastimes, to relish those pastimes. The forests of Vrindavan are the most congenial place for relishing the pastimes of Krishna. And this Vrindavan is surrounded by the sweetness of Mathura. And we desire that you should enjoy your pastimes of playing your flute. This flute is dancing on your lips, right? We want you to enjoy, we want you to enjoy in that atmosphere of the forests of Vrindavan, surrounded by the sweetness of Mathura, and these forests which are imbued with the fragrance of your rasa, the rasa of your pastimes. We want you to play your flute there. And earlier we saw the fifth note. And listening to your, and we will be, while you're playing your flute, you will be surrounded by gopis, all of us gopis. And what type of devotees are we? Our hearts are always enchanted by unpredictable ecstatic emotions. That means This will give you the greatest pleasure. We want to give you the greatest pleasure. It's not here. It cannot happen here. You should come to Vrindavan for that. And in Vrindavan, in the forest of Vrindavan, there you play the flutes and you will be surrounded by all of us, and there you will enjoy the most, like that. And this is our desire. This is the fulfillment of all our desires. You enjoy. So this verse is also composed by Srila Rupa Goswami in Lalita Madhava. ए मता महाप्रभु देखी जगन्नाथे Subhadra Sahita Dekhe Vamsi Nahi Hate. In this way, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Jagannath, he saw that the Lord was with his sister Subhadra and was not holding a flute in his hand. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to everyone else, they are seeing a sannyasi looking at Jagannath. But what was the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Exactly, whenever he looked at Jagannath, he was seeing Krishna like Srimati Radharani was seeing Krishna on the field of Kurukshetra. And how her heart was yearning to see Krishna with flute in Vrindavan. You know, Jagannath, he is Krishna who is in separation from Vrindavan. Krishna in Dwaraka, who is feeling great separation from Vrindavan, and whenever he hears about any Vrindavan pastimes, he goes into ecstasy. And when he goes into ecstasy, simply hearing about the Brajbasis, about the Braja Prema, when he goes into ecstasy, then his eyes become big and he's smiling and he's going through this, transformation of his transcendental body in ecstasy. That is Lord Jagannath. So when Srimati Radharani looks at Krishna, who is feeling so much separation from Vrindavan, and here he is surrounded by all royalty and kingly, vesh, surrounded by armies and, all this opulence, but his heart is crying for Vrindavan. What is the mood of Srimati Radharani? She wants to give the highest pleasure to Krishna. She knows that he will experience that highest pleasure only in Vrindavan, in the forests of Vrindavan, surrounded by the gopis. And when Mahaprabhu is looking at Jagannath, it's like Srimati Radharani seeing Krishna on the field of Kurukshetra. Krishna, who is in great separation from the gopis. There's also, so many about Jagannath, Krishna in Dwaraka, the talks between the queens. They're talking how Krishna, when he goes to bed at night, his pillow is all wet with tears. All night long, tears coming from his eyes, and he's calling out the names of the cows, the gopis, his friends. He's calling out the Brajbasis' names, and he's crying, and his pillow is all soaked wet with his tears. One queen says this. In name only he is sleeping next to us, but actually he is always thinking about the Brajbasis. And another queen says, why only at night? Even during the day, all the time, like we are there sitting next to him talking, but he is like lost in the thoughts of the Brajbasis. This is Jagannath. This is Jagannath. So the gopis were definitely feeling great separation from Krishna. We heard how much they suffered in separation from Krishna. But Krishna was also equally suffering in separation. Suffering means don't think like the material suffering. It's much more than what material suffering. We think the knowledge of material suffering that we have, but this is the highest. Vipralamba bhava is the highest ecstasy. It is the highest ecstasy. Krishna who is experiencing this Vipralamba Bhava is Lord Jagannath, and that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is seeing as Srimati Radharani. He is not seeing like a spectator, like we are listening, we are hearing. So we are like watching as a spectator, like you see a movie, right? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is feeling it as Srimati Radharani for Krishna, who is in Vipralamba Bhava. So she wants to take Krishna back so that he will be pleased once again. And I am still here. All the gopis are here, and Krishna is also here. And here also we have moonlit nights. Here also the Kadamba flower fragrance is there, Malati flower fragrance is there, cool breezes are there, Krishna is there, we are there. So we should be like reunited once again, happy. No, still my heart is not happy because the land of Vrindavan itself is imbued. The forests of Vrindavan are imbued with the fragrance. You can feel that rasa of Krishna's pastimes only there in Vrindavan. We are all here, but still it's not the same. I am not feeling that same happiness. Please, Krishna, come back to Vrindavan. Like that. Who is telling us this? Srila Rupa Goswami is revealing this to us. So, in this way, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Jagannath, he saw that the Lord was with his sister Subhadra and was not holding a flute in his hand. So Jagannath, when you see Jagannath dressed in opulence, right? Big crowns and royalty. And on the Rath, he goes on a chariot with his sister Subhadra. You don't see a flute in Jagannath's hand. That is only in Vrindavan. And Mahaprabhu is seeing Jagannath as Krishna without a flute, sitting on the Rath with his sister. Tribhanga Sundara Vraje Vrajendra Nandan Kaha Pabo Eivancha Bade Anukshana. Absorbed in the ecstasy of the gopis, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wished to see Lord Jagannath in his original form as Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, standing in Vrindavan and appearing very beautiful. His body curved in 3 places. His desire to see that form was always increasing. This is another thing. In bhakti, it is Anandambudhi Vardhanam. Ananda, that ecstasy. So it is this desire is also an ecstasy. That separation is also ecstasy. So Ananda Ambuda. Ambuda means ocean. Does ocean have any limit? Can anyone measure, the the amount of water in the ocean? So this ecstasy is like an ocean. It's unlimited. And still, Vardhanam, it is still increasing. It's already unlimited and that is still increasing constantly. So in this case, Mahaprabhu's feeling, his desire, Mahaprabhu means Srimati Radharani, yes? So whenever you hear Mahaprabhu looking at Jagannath, you should picture Srimati Radharani seeing Krishna on Kurukshetra. So that's the exact feeling, that's the exact mood or bhava of Mahaprabhu when he sees as Jagannath. and his desire to bring Jagannath back to Vrindavan, that desire keeps on increasing at every moment. And what is that desire? To see Jagannath as in a threefold bending form as Krishna playing flute in Vrindavan. Absorbed in the ecstasy of the gopis, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wished to see Lord Jagannath in his original form as Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, standing in Vrindavan and appearing very beautiful, his body curved in three places. His desire to see that form was always increasing. So seeing Jagannath, Mahaprabhu's desire is he wants to see Krishna. Instead of Krishna means Jagannath is also Krishna, but in the form of the son of Nanda Maharaj, in a threefold bending form. Jagannath, we don't see his hands and legs, right? So he wants to see Krishna in a threefold bending form with his flute. And that desire to see, when he's seeing Jagannath, wanting to see Jagannath in that form as the son of Nanda Maharaj playing flute in Vrindavan, that desire keeps increasing more and more every time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looks at Jagannath. राधिका उन्मादयै छे उद्धव दर्शने उद्घूर्णा प्रलापतै छे प्रभुर रात्रि दिने. Just as Srimati Radharani talked inconsistently with a bumblebee in the presence of Uddhava, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his ecstasy talked crazily and inconsistently day and night. So let's read the purport. This Unmada, madness, is not ordinary madness. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talked inconsistently, almost like a crazy fellow, he was in the transcendental ecstasy of love. In the highest transcendental ecstasy, there is a feeling of being enchanted in the presence of the enchanter. In the highest transcendental ecstasy, there is a feeling of being enchanted, feeling enchanted in the presence of the enchanter. Enchanted and enchanter, you can kind of think of, the snake charmer charms the snake, yes, and the snake charmer chants his mantras and he plays his instrument. Then the snake becomes enchanted and the snake starts dancing like that. So, in the highest form of ecstasy, one is enchanted in the presence of the enchanter. There is a feeling of being enchanted in the presence of the enchanter. When the enchanter and the enchanted become separated, mohana, right? Or bewilderment occurs. Mohana, bewilderment. When the enchanter and enchantress are separated, there is bewilderment. When so bewildered due to separation, one becomes stunned. And at that time, all the bodily symptoms of transcendental ecstasy are manifested. Right? So, there are eight types of transformations that happen in the body. When do they get manifested? When there is separation. First of all, there is union, and there is the enchanter and the enchanted. When there is separation, then there is bewilderment because of that separation, because of losing. And in that bewilderment, one becomes stunned like a stone. And then you see these 8 types of vikaras, ashta vikaras, transformations of the body happening in that separation. When they are manifest, one appears inconceivably crazy. And when this happens, when these manifest, that person appears to everyone in this external, they'll think it'll appear to them the behavior, the activities. That means these vikaras, they appear, and the activities of the person having these vikaras appear to be inconceivable. You cannot comprehend. They make no sense to us. They appear to be crazy. This is called transcendental madness. In this state, there is imaginative discourse, right? They'll be talking to some, imaginative, like you don't see any person there, and you see them just talking to somebody. In this world also we see when somebody is deranged, right? When they become crazy, they'll be talking like that. But in the beginning itself it is said there's a gulf of difference between this madness and the transcendental madness. But nevertheless, to ordinary people it appears like madness. There is imaginary discourse. They're talking to to us it appears like they're talking to some imaginary person or something. There is imaginary discourse, like the gopis, right? Okay, let's just read it and then. When they are manifest, one appears inconceivably crazy. This is called transcendental madness. In this state, there is imaginative discourse, and one experiences emotions like those of a madman. The madness of Srimati Radharani was explained to Krishna by Uddhava, who said, "My dear Krishna, because of extreme feelings of separation from you, Srimati Radharani is sometimes making her bed in the groves of the forest. Sometimes in that madness, she's making her bed in the groves of the forest, sometimes rebuking a bluish cloud, and sometimes wandering about in the dense darkness of the forest. Thus, has become like a crazy woman." So, this is the highest state of prema bhakti, highest state. Even, this talking. What are we discussing here? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's separation, and how in that separation he's acting like a mad person, madman, crazy person. Day and night, he's talking, saying things which make no sense. To everyone, he appears to be a crazy person. But what is this? This is a state of the highest ecstasy experienced by Srimati Radharani. So to substantiate that, we hear how the statement of Uddhava to Krishna about Srimati Radharani, how she's talking to the bumblebee, she's, chastising a blue cloud, she's walking in the darkness in the forest, and making a bed in the groves, like that. Like she was looking like a mad woman. Uddhava is saying this to Krishna. What is this madness? This madness is the result of the manifestation of the transformations of the body that happen after one becomes stunned, being bewildered because of separation from the object of their love. Of course, that there's only one object, that is Krishna. So this is experienced, and that is why Krishna could not understand what type of love does Srimati Radharani have, what is it that she's experiencing, and what are his qualities that she is able to relish which he doesn't know. That's why he took the position of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to understand the love of Srimati Radharani. And now as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is also experiencing the same thing which Srimati Radharani experiences. So we will stop here today. We will continue reading tomorrow. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.